Yeah, it's Big C, Fin Posse Podcast in the building. If you hating on the Fins, turn this up louder. I grew up on Shula, chalk lines, cold rain, Marino in the pocket, dropping dimes, pure flame. 7-2 perfect, you can't say a thing back. Undefeated on your head, living rent-free fact. Jason Taylor off the edge, helmets turning skyward. Zach thumping chests, every hit like a siren. You talking about rings, get your history straight. We the reason that the word perfect holds weight. It's that Fin Posse, raise, turn the volume up. Hey, slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, raise, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get that story right. Yeah, Larry C. Sonka in the mud, blood on his mouthpiece. Ricky in the backfield, making whole crowd screech. Wake off the snap count, quarterbacks daydreaming. By the time they look up, all they see is teals streaming. You forgot about Grease, you forgot about Twilly, you forgot Nat Moore. Going up, getting silly from Marino to a lineage, same jersey. We've been airing that thing out since before you that 30. Posse, raise, turn the volume up. Y'all slick on Miami, you get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse, raise, put respect on the name. Big C on the mic, lighting lanes in the flame. This the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. If you talking about the Fins, better get the story right. This for the diehards, slamming doors on the loss. This for the old heads still quoting Shula talk. This for the kids wearing jerseys in June, waiting all year just to scream in the room. It's that Fin Posse rage, turn the volume up. Slick on Miami, you'll get called out tough. From the Orange Bowl ghost to that aqua on the cuff. If you doubt these Dolphins, you ain't studied us enough. Fin Posse rage, put respect on the name. Big C in the crew, let them drown in the shame. It's the Fin Posse rage, yeah, we bark, we bite. Fin Posse Podcast, get the Dolphin story right. Woo! Get the Dolphin story right. Woo! Get the Dolphin story right. Yeah. Check it. From the 305 to the world. Big C on the mic. Welcome to the inner circle. You know what it is. Yeah. Clock hits noon, ready for the breakdown. Big C stepping up, holding down the town. The Fin Posse Podcast, yeah, we talking shop. Fresh off the field, never gonna stop. For the fans, by the fans, that's the code. Every single snap, every yard on the road. We dissect the stats, every gain, every loss. Breaking down the tape, checking every cross. Fins up, hold it high to the sky. Hard hitting talk, no need for a lie. From the trenches to the end zone, we keep it true. The Fin Posse, yeah, we waiting for you. Fins up, let the rivals all see. It's the daily grind, it's the podcast, it's Big C. Yeah. Keep it locked, Fins up. Big C. Posse move. Word.
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. Good Friday. A day away from the Miami Dolphins and New York Giants. Man, I can't wait to see this hit the field. Yesterday, they had a joint practice. Man. Oh man. Yeah. It is what it is. Again, this Miami Dolphins team 2026, all about progression and getting better. I really do hate to be right about this and this 2026 team. I really do. I wish things could be different. I wish we could speed things along. But it's just this is just where we're at as a franchise, and it's not necessarily a bad spot to be in. It's just where we're at. it's where we're at. It's natural. It is where it is what it is. I do feel like we're moving in the right direction, and I just wish we could speed things along, a little bit faster. But yeah. Let's say our good mornings real quick. And I see Bonnie says it wasn't bad, all bad. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good. Michael K. Again, get your boxes for the season from Michael K. It's worth it. You get a box, you get NFL Sunday ticket, you get all the basketball games, all the baseball games, all the movies you could possibly want. It's like having live cable also. If you're big into WWE, you can get all that. It's a definite good buy. I bought one myself. I got tired of paying for DirecTV all year long, and I barely use DirecTV. And then to pay another $400 for Sunday ticket, it just was stupid. So I bought the box off Michael K, and now I get all my Dolphin games. I get what else does it come with? It comes with the Red Zone, I think. It's definitely worth the deal. So hit me up if you want to get a hold of Michael K and get yourself a blue box if you're tired of paying for NFL Sunday ticket. Lombardo, good morning. Idolman, good morning. Says ready for post scrimmage therapy with Big C. Yeah, we need some therapy. Bonnie, good morning. Miller, good morning. Miller says, laugh out loud. Did we watch the same practice recaps? I thought it looked better given the content. I mean, did you think it looked better, Miller? Did you? Fred, good morning. Bonnie says, we definitely have problems in our secondary, but we already knew that. Bonnie says it wasn't all bad. Michael says it was ugly. Miller says, I heard it was Isaiah Likely's show, and he's just that good. Not that our secondary was that bad. Who's talking about defense necessarily? How about what the defense did to our offense? Because, I mean, we've been talking, I mean, on this show at least, that the offense could be better than expected. Yesterday, the offense kind of got dominated. I don't think there's any other way to put it, but the offense got dominated. Now, I know the Giants got a plethora of pass rushing specialists on their football team, and we're not going to face those guys, those type of units each and every week. But, I mean, it's concerning the amount of success they had against our offensive lines, specifically the starters, because I've been one, and I know others feel like this offensive line could definitely be one of the better units on this football team. So to see them get dominated the way they did yesterday is a bit concerning. And we're going to talk about everybody's boy, everybody's, top prospect, everybody's number one receiver who vanished again yesterday, but he's the next coming of Randy Moss. Michael K says Dolphins got an overall D- grade. Seems like the 53-man roster will still have roofers, delivery drivers, and strip club bouncers on it. Miller said, when you getting that sponsorship money from Michael K? Listen, me and Michael K got a little agreement. You know what I mean? I just want to look out for everybody. It's a good deal for everybody else also. I mean, you know how many years I paid for Sunday ticket? You know what I mean? I've been paying for Sunday ticket for 10, 12, 13. I don't know how many years I've been paying for Sunday ticket. $400 times 10 years is $4,000. You know what I mean? Already this box, and I watch some WWE content, the pay-per-views, the major pay-per-views. You can call me a clown if you want, I guess. But the amount of money you got to pay for ESPN Plus and this, that, and the third, that's $1,000 a year. So, I've already made my money back double that. I've already doubled my money back. So it's a great deal. You should hit them up. Hayden says, G-Men put belt to asses on you fools. I mean, you ain't lying, Hayden. I appreciate, obviously, you're a Giants fan. I appreciate you coming, checking out the content. Obviously, you want to hear Dolphins, what the Dolphins are saying about your New York Football Giants. Yeah, the Miami Dolphins yesterday defensively did a good job against their run, but everything else, the secondary wasn't horrible. Isaiah Likely ate us up. Definitely that's an issue for this Miami Dolphins team. Although let's get it out there. There was no Kenneth Grant. There was no Zach Sealer. There was no Jordan Brooks. Dante Dotson got left early. Willie Gay Jr. got pulled about halfway through. So the Miami Dolphins weren't at 100%, but I don't know if it would have mattered. I don't know if anybody was stopping Isaiah Likely. I mean, the defense wasn't bad yesterday, though. They didn't give up a bunch of deep balls. Fields had a couple of decent catches. Malik Neighbors wasn't there, though, so you gotta their number one target wasn't there. So you got to take that into account too. But the Miami Dolphins did a good job against the run. No Cam Scadaboo. I don't know where he's listed on the Giants depth chart, but I feel like he's probably their number one running back. He gives that offense just a boost physically, mentally. When he's in the game and he's running the football, he changes the dynamic of that offense. So take it for what it is. Dolphins defense wasn't that bad. My issue is with the offense. Frederick, the offense ran the ball very effectively, but who's talking about that 7-yard average? Frederick, see, I don't know where you get your info from. Alan Poupart said there was 4 runs over 1 yard. 4 yards over 1 yard. Literally 4 yards over 1 yard. That's what Alan Poupart said. Let's go back. I want a little recap of practice real quick before we get into some of the notes that I made. The Giants' edge rushers dominated the Dolphins' offensive line, passing downs. Quarterback Malik Willis was running for his life for a significant chunk of team period. Outside linebacker Brian Burns was the best player on the field. Running back Devon Achane would have broken off a 70-plus yard touchdown run. Running back Ollie Gordon had a good long run too. Linebacker Jacob Rodriguez picked off quarterback Jackson Dart. That was a nice pick by Jacob Rodriguez, continuing to get turnovers. That's his MO. Malik Willis threw a pick to cornerback Paulson Adebo, which I heard would have been a pick 6. And everybody's guy, Caleb Douglas could have made a better play on that ball and maybe broken that up, but he didn't. Wide receiver A.J. Henning and linebacker Terrell Dotson didn't finish practice. A bunch of skirmishes broke out, including Giants outside linebacker Abdul Carter punching left tackle Patrick Paul and right tackle Austin Jackson throwing a punch. Both remained in practice. Both Carter or Burns consistently got by Jackson and offensive lineman Caden Wallace. Defensive line Chauncey Golson consistently got pressure on Willis as well. Cornerback Jason Marshall Jr. had a nice pass breakup in team period. Dolphins defense did a good job stopping the run. So the Dolphins defense wasn't the issue yesterday. I'm more concerned with what I've heard about the offense. Dolphins defense, I'd name the starters that were out. Chop Robinson had a so-so day. Had some okay plays, but not what he's been performing at. Again, no Brooks, no Dotson. That affects that linebacker core. Do they do a better job against Isaiah Likely? Maybe, but I don't know if any of those guys were stopping Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely, to me, has always been a really good receiving tight end. from his days in Baltimore. He was behind Mark Andrews on the depth chart, but whenever his number was called, he produced at a high level. He produced at a high level. Miller says Caleb Douglas didn't get the snaps in joint practices because he's playing the game more than one drive. Miller, he got his opportunities yesterday. He had one catch. The day before that, he had 0 catches. Like, come on, stop making excuses for the guy. You know, we continue to talk about Caleb Douglas, and I hope the guy turns out to be, you know, an all-pro. But he's got elite size. He's got elite speed. This, that, and the third. He's the next Randy Moss. This, that. You know who else was 6'3", 6'4", ran a sub 4.4 40 time? You know who else did? Who occasionally looked like he could be a all-pro wide receiver? You know who I'm talking about? He played for this team at one point. He played for this team one point. Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson was 6'3.5", ran a 4.36 40. Just because you got elite traits and elite size does not make you Randy Moss. And because you have one good catch in preseason doesn't make you Randy Moss. Now, I hope the guy turns out to be Randy Moss. I truly do. But can we pump the brakes a little bit? Can we pump the brakes? We're anointing these guys way too early. Way too early. No scheming up anything in scrimmage. I'm not worried. Frederick, why isn't he scheming up things? Why isn't he trying to get an idea of what things are really going to look like? And, you know, like, I've been on board with everything that Jeff Hafley has done so far. I support him. But again, that doesn't mean that Jeff Hafley is not going to make mistakes as a rookie head coach. And I think that him not scheming for the other team, him just running a basic offense or a basic defense, I think that's a bad move on his part. I think that's a bad move on his part. I think you should be scheming things up and seeing how things work against other teams. You're not going to run a basic defense and a basic offense when the regular season gets here. You got to give these opportunities to these guys to learn these schemes and these plays and the way they're going to do things when the games do count. So again, I think that Jeff Hafley is making a mistake as far as that goes. Jamaican says, it's sad so-called fans get a kick out of our growing pains. It's practice. We get young team. This is supposed to happen. Absolutely supposed to happen. Absolutely. And I'm not putting them down. I'm not putting this team down whatsoever. These are natural growing pains. You know what I mean? Elite pass rushers are going to give us issues. You know what I mean? John Harbaugh has been a coach in this league for a long time. To think that he's not going to get the best of Jeff Hafley as far as scheming up a practice and, you know, works and does it more than Jeff Hafley does, it's not a knock on Jeff Hafley. That's experience that Jeff Hafley is going to gain along the way. So I'm not putting this team down whatsoever. I've said it from Jump Street. This team is not in the best position to win this year. And that's why I said this year's about growth. This year's about getting guys to where they need to be for the future, determining who's going to be a part of that future, determining which players play best at what positions, and, you know, what scheme fits work best with what players we have. You should be trying all those things out. And that's why I'm not in love with Jeff Hafley's approach. He did say that He's not scheming up or running specific defenses or this, that. But he blitzed yesterday. He blitzed. He did different things and tried to adjust his scheme. So I don't know what maybe he was just using that as an excuse. But let's not pretend that Jeff Hafley doesn't know what he's doing. And let's not pretend that Jeff Hafley is going to be completely honest with us 100% of the time, neither. You know what I mean? He's not going to tell the public and the fans each and everything he's doing. What did you get from Carl Banks, Frederick? Darts garbage. Jossam says, good morning, everyone. Bonnie. Glenn, why are you concerned? You don't know what Miami was trying to do. There was no game plan, and Giants sent multiple blitzes. The Dolphins blitz too, Glenn. I know that their offense, I wouldn't say dominated the defense, but their defense dominated our offense for sure. Why are you concerned? You don't know what Miami was trying to do. I mean, you're trying to get the better of the other team, aren't you? And if we're not trying to do that, why not? They haven't stopped the tight end for years. Yeah, I mean, they've always had issues with tight ends, in my opinion. But again, this is a different regime. I'm not going to, Jordan Brooks is an all pro linebacker. Is he the greatest in coverage? No. Dotson, the loss of Dotson early in practice, I mean, that affects his football team. So I'm not going to diminish that. I think that would have helped. Nobody is saying he's Randy Moss. Laugh out loud. He's T. Higgins. Stop. Or he's Robbie Anderson. If he's lucky, he could. Robbie Anderson had a nice little stretch. We don't know what Caleb Douglas is. I just wish people would stop trying to put this huge expectations on this kid's shoulders. Oh, what up, Karen Twist? Because it's practice, not a preseason game or regular season game. So, Glenn, again, it's a joint practice. This is, why do they have joint practices? If they don't mean nothing and they're not good for nothing, why do they even have them? Cap says, our defensive starters didn't participate in the joint practice. I don't put much stock to yesterday. I mean, the defense didn't play horrible, Cap, and I named the starters that didn't play. But what about this? What about our offense? Our offense is what we felt like would be the strength of this football team. Malik Willis, Devon Achane, Caleb Douglas. I'm not worried about what the defense necessarily did yesterday. We were missing a bunch of starters. We were. But offensively, Patrick Paul didn't have a good day. Proctor didn't have a good day. Austin Jackson and in this Caden Wallace that everybody was hyped on. It was such a huge signing, which I said was not a big deal. Like, it didn't move the needle. It didn't move the needle for me whatsoever, and I took a bashing about that. What do you mean it didn't move the needle? What do you mean you don't want us to trade to get better? Yeah, I do. I would love for us to make a trade to get better. I didn't feel like the Caden Wallace pick was a trade that made us better, though. And he's getting dominated in joint practices. Glenn, no, but you're not going to put what you want to do on tape. What do you mean on tape, Glenn? Who's taping it? Who's taping it? The beat reporters are allowed there, and they're not allowed to tape it. We don't play the Giants in the regular season, right? So putting it on tape for the Giants, like what you're saying makes no sense. Like, again, if you're not going to try the things you're going to do in the regular season, what's the point of the joint practice? How many teams send safety blitzes in practice? Why wouldn't you? If you're going to send safety blitzes in the regular season, why wouldn't you do it in practice? Who cares? Are you talking about the Javon Howland blitz? Are teams not going to blitz the Miami Dolphins from the safety position in the regular season? What are you, Glenn? I just don't get what you're trying to say, brother. Are you saying that we weren't unprepared for a safety blitz because it was practice? Jocelyn said the coach is the biggest problem. I don't believe that. I like Jeff Athley, and I wasn't sold on him at first. But just because I like Jeff Hafley doesn't mean that Jeff Hafley's not going to make mistakes. Dolman says TD said we controlled the line of scrimmage for rushing the ball. Another wishful TD analyst. Go watch Dolphin Confidential. Go watch our Dolphin Collective. Go watch Dolphin Collective. Alan Poupart watched the offense yesterday. He was at the joint practice. He said there was 4 rushes over 1 yard. 4 rushes over 1 yard. Achane had a big one. Ali Gordon had a decent sized one. And then other than that, 4 rushes. The Giants line was in the backfield a lot. Jonah didn't have a good day. Austin Jackson didn't have a good day. The only one that I heard that didn't have a bad day is Brewer. Coaches don't want to see how their players react when the defense is showing blitz. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't get it. No, you're not getting the better of the other team in practice. You're trying to find out what players you can put in certain situations and what they do. So then why would you question the safety blitz? And yes, you don't think they want to show out against the other team, Glenn? You don't think these players want to show out against the Dolphins? Or you don't think the Dolphins players want to show out against the Giants players? You're mistaken. You don't think Jeff Hafley wanted to outperform the Giants yesterday? If he didn't want to outperform the Giants yesterday, he's not the right coach for us. That's natural competition. That's natural. If you're a competitor, that's natural. And if you don't want to, I don't care if I'm playing checkers, bro. I want to win. I don't care if I'm playing tic-tac-toe with my kids. I want to win. Caleb is JJ. JJ who? JJ who? JJ who? Not Justin Jefferson. I mean, the shot at the Bills, that doesn't make us better. When did it come to a point where you had to win a practice? I didn't say you had to win a practice, but you don't want to win the practice, Glenn. You don't want to win the practice. I mean, I want to win at everything I do. Miller says the issue is we allowed the Giants blitzing to throw the line we had under fire. Only through the fire and flames will this line become tempered steel. Iron sharpens iron. Yeah, I guess you could say that, Miller. The Giants' defensive line is nothing to look over. There's talent on that line. And I said that. I said that the Miami Dolphins may not face another unit this deep again all season. Yeah, they'll face top pass rushers for sure. But I don't know if they'll face another unit. I don't know if there is another unit in the NFL that has as many top level pass rushers as this New York Giants team. The Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Thibodeau, Reese. This New York Giants defensive front is not in the scuff at. And I would expect the Dolphins offensive line to struggle to a point. I just thought I was hopeful that they would hold up a little bit better than what they did. I was a little because I felt like this, we talked about this offensive line being a top 10, a top 5 unit. If you're a top 10, a top 5 unit, I feel like you do a little bit better of a job than what we did yesterday. Again, true Fin fan, what does that is that like I'm all for shooting shots, but what we're talking about the Dolphins playing bad at practice. How does that get us better? Jocelyn says, wish McDermott was the head coach. Our players are running their mouths, getting beat and getting beat up. Jocelyn, see, I feel like there was more fight from us yesterday. We didn't just take the abuse yesterday. We fought back. And I think that says a bunch about the mindset of this team. So I'm definitely happy about that. I definitely feel like the mindset of this football team has changed. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be bad times. There's going to be bad practices. There's going to be situations where we don't look our best. That's the natural part of growing, progression. Sometimes you're going to have hiccups. You go back to the drawing board and try to get better. Try to get better. Try to fix some of the problems that we had yesterday before Saturday's preseason game. We're not showing our hand. I get it, Glenn. Showing our hand to who? Like you act like they're hiding a bunch of stuff that they're gonna do. And if they are, why? Why? Who is gonna see it? That's the top talent the Giants have is D line. Why wouldn't you want your line to get tested? I do. I didn't want. It's not that I didn't want them to get tested. I would have just loved for them to perform it a little bit better. Patrick Powell held Myles Garrett to zero pressure. Blah 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 blah. We ran the rock and stopped the run, from what I heard. We didn't run the ball. 4 runs over 1 yard, Cap. Right. Right tackle wasn't good. Our right guard wasn't good. Jonah or Patrick Paul wasn't good yesterday, and Proctor wasn't great yesterday. They all struggled. Again, so Glenn, I didn't say that practice was for the fans. I didn't say that at all. I don't know what good comes from getting beat up at practice, though. I don't know what the coach is learning by getting beat up at practice. this must be discussed. Yeah, I'm going to send you the link, Cap. You tell me what you heard, because out of Alan Poupart's mouth, I heard 4 runs over 1 yard. Dolphin Collective, 4 runs over 1 yard. And TD said, no, I heard that we had a bunch of 4 6-yard runs. And Poupart said, no, there was 4 runs over 1 yard, including the HN run and the Ollie Gordon run. It's simple. We have a lot of rookies and 1-year players. Whoever thinks they're not trying with all they have is to secure their future is yet another dumb fan. I just don't get why you wouldn't. You know what I mean? And Glenn, this is why you're not a coach, because you'd sit out there and act like the practice doesn't matter. Again, if the practice does not matter, why have joint practices with other teams? Why do them? If you're not going to do what you do in a regular season game or when you play an opponent, what sense is there to do them? What is the sense? Too much stock in practice. This is what the point is. That's what the point of joint practice is, to see where you match up against another NFL quality team. So you're not going up against yourself. That's what the point of joint practice is. Double J, bro. Who? Double J? Who? Glenn, we shall see. We shall see. But to act like they're not doing what they should be doing, I mean, listen, the whole back and forth between Michael K and True Fin Fan, I wish you guys would stop that. Like, that does no better. You know what I mean? I prefer to have the chat with positive things, talking about yesterday's practice, not going back and forth about the Bills Dolphins and why each team is not very good. You evaluate each and every day in practice, Glenn. They know what players are good, what players are not. They know. I appreciate it. Listen, Michael K is kind of a troll. We all know that in the Dolphin community. You know what I mean? Like, he trolls our Dolphins. He gets enjoyment out of it. He's not too crazy with it. You know what I mean? He's not. You know, he makes his little snide comments. I mean, don't let it get to you too much. Well, I'm sure you will, Michael K. A true Fin fan, I swear Michael K is not a bad guy. I've talked to him on the phone. Like, I've blocked Michael K before. He's not a bad guy. He really is not. But he will get on your last nerve sometimes. I've just learned to deal with it, kind of. I mean, what can you do, Miller? What can you do? Like, I mean, you're free to go to Buffalo Bills channels and troll, I guess, if that's what you get enjoyment out of. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna give people an opportunity to say how they feel about yesterday's practice. One at a time. I don't want it arguing, yelling over each other. You know what I mean? Uh, some other takes I got from yesterday's practice. Um, our young linebackers got a ton of playing time, which is good. Trey Moore, Kyle Lewis, Jacob Rodriguez. Kyle Lewis had a really good day, making tackles at the line of scrimmage. That's why I said Kyle Lewis, he does most of his damage down towards the line of scrimmage. I know they're having him practice a bit at safety. I think linebacker is probably his best position, but had a really good day. Kyle Lewis had a really good day. Again, Dolphins did a good job stopping the run yesterday. Isaiah Likely, we got to figure out how to do a better job against tight ends. Tight ends has been a major issue for the Dolphins for years. For years. I like Isaiah Likely a lot. I wish the Miami Dolphins probably would have signed Isaiah Likely. I think he would have been a huge asset for this Dolphins team. Brian Burns, best player on the field. Abdul Carter, he's a every play. I heard he was in the Dolphins backfield just blah 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 blah. Jacob Rodriguez had an impressive interception. Michael Taff was up and down. Jonah didn't have a good day. Communication issues on the offensive line when the Giants blitzed. They just were all over the place, not picking up the right guys. They need to figure that out. Again, like I said, 2 really good runs, 4 runs in total for over 1 yard. That's not what you want to hear. But it is what it is. Again, Dolphins offensive line struggled. I wish they would have performed better. But I'm not gonna get overly stressed out about it. It's not the end of the world. Hopefully in this preseason game, our starters start, their starters start, and we're able to get a little get back, if you know what I mean. Hopefully their defensive starters come out and our offensive line can handle them better. Hopefully we can go down and get some points our first drive. But if we can't stop their edge rushers and Malik's running for his life and Caleb Douglas is invisible, we're going to have a hard time scoring the football. We're going to have issues. And teams will take that into account when they game plan for us in the regular season. AB says Likely probably would burn a lot of linebackers, not just hers. I agree, AB. AB, I absolutely agree with that. I like Isaiah Likely a lot. He's not your average tight end. I would say Isaiah Likely is a top 10 tight end as far as receiving skills wise in this league. I've liked Isaiah Likely for a long time. Michael K says, can't stop a blitz in practice. How are they going to figure it out in an actual game? Well, Michael K, Glenn says that in practice, they don't try hard or they don't care about winning or they don't show their true selves. So maybe they come out with a different look and are able to handle it better. Miller says, Big C, what's your cousin say about... I haven't talked to my cousin in about a month and a half. So I don't know what he's saying about the Giants. I've tried to get him to do the Giants channel. I've tried to get him to do the show with me. He's does what he does. Cap, what's good, my brother?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm all right. Yourself?
I mean, okay. First, before I get to the topic at hand, I'd like to know, does anybody know this guy Valentine from Green Bay that everybody keeps talking about? What's his credentials as far as like secondary help? Is he legit?
I mean, he's not. Again, he's a piece that probably knows Jeff Hafley's defense. schemes. He'd probably help this team because of our lack of depth, but he's not a guy that I think would come in here and be a starter day one or be a huge difference maker. You know what I mean? He's a guy that would definitely help because we don't have the greatest secondary, but if you think he's going to come in and make the secondary considerably better, I don't think that's the case.
So what's his worth? Like what would we give up if we did go after him?
I wouldn't say anything more than a fifth or something like that.
Nothing crazy. Okay. All right.
I mean, I can't say really what his trade value is, but I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I don't even know. I mean, like I said, I'm just coming to the terms of finding out now that we might, try to make moves too. But I mean, like I said, like after preseason is basically when we would do it. I think. But I mean, yeah, man. I mean, we need right tackle depth. That's going to be hard. That's a premier position. Secondary, like I said earlier, we know that already.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I heard, Biggers did pretty good. Rodriguez did his job. I mean, if you were to make some type of move, I keep hearing Dotson's name a lot. Would you want to incorporate giving up linebackers, or do you like keeping the 53 with some depth?
Well, I mean, I think Dotson, at this point is a really good player for our football team. If you're trying to add a corner or something, I just don't think the value is there to trade a player like Dotson. I don't think you're going to get in return what he's worth. You know what I mean? So in the long run, I think it makes the team worse. You know what I mean? Obviously, we got a lot of young linebackers, Kyle Lewis, Trey Moore, Jacob Rodriguez that you want to see on the field, but at the same time, are they necessarily better than what Terrell Dotson is right now? Probably not, right? So if you subtract Dotson, yeah, the young guys are getting playing time, but your linebacker core is kind of taking a hit, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then what are you going to get in return for Dotson? Probably not much. We were only going to get a fourth rounder for Jordan Brooks. Dotson's not on Jordan Brooks's level, so what are we getting, a fifth, sixth round pick for Dotson? I'd rather keep him.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that, but I'm curious because when I heard Valentine's name, they were talking about trade, and I'm like, well, what can you trade? Like, I mean, at this point, I would rather wait until the end of preseason. All these cuts, might get somebody that's disgruntled somewhere might want to leave, like, I don't know. I just feel like, we know the obvious already, but I just feel like the aspect of the Giants dominating us. I mean, come on, man. If they blitzed more than they did practice, that tells you what their scheme is based upon. Like, I think us not showing our hand, even though we don't know what hand we're going to play yet. I mean, I like the way we did things.
What do you mean that we didn't? What do you mean that we didn't show our hand though? What does that mean?
That means that Saturday we might do more. I mean, I think they gave Malik 30 plus snaps, but they're saying that maybe they might not even play the starters.
Yeah, but like in practice yesterday, what do you think that they didn't do that they would normally do?
I just, like I said, defensive wise, you don't have a full unit out there, so you can't display what our scheme is as far as defense. We don't know if we're going to be blitzing more. We don't know if, we don't know what our scheme is.
I don't think the defense was, we were out a lot of starters on defense yesterday, but I don't think that's the issue that people are talking about. It's what they did against us, against our offense yesterday, that what they did against our starting offensive line yesterday is what's concerning. And I just don't know what we would have shown differently or what we did differently yesterday that you know what I mean?
In a real game scenario, we would have been chip blocking. We would have been having other guys out there to help the line. I mean, like I said, TD talked about it yesterday too. Like different formations would have been implemented. Like we would have schemed to what they were doing. I mean, we're just not going to let the guys go at them 7 times. Like, in what game are you going to let somebody get sacked 7 times? Like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, if that's the case, I mean, then you show your whole hand if you're going to start getting blitzed. But I mean, I think we showed more from what I hear, even though you say the numbers don't really add up the talk. I mean, if they're saying that we rushed the ball pretty good, I mean, I'm hearing now that Jalen Wright might be the number 2. I mean, if we're starting to have, you know, a running competition, I mean, I think the O-line's doing a good job blocking for that aspect. But I mean, I get what everybody's saying though, as far as like you know, getting exposed as far as with the pass rush.
So you don't think they chip blocked at all? You think they just let the defenders run through yesterday?
I mean, I think on the Holland one they said that that the tight end missed the block there, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, you would think that if we're going to have some type of scheme, you know, Malik would probably do something with his feet. You know, you never know.
Well, they said he was running for his life. It's not like he just stood there and took the sack. Like he was trying to get away from them. It's like people think people really get the gist of the joint practices. Like it's almost like live game action. Like they snap the ball, they're trying to go down the field and score. They give them different scenarios. All right, you got a minute and 12 to drive down the field and put some points on the board. Like they're trying. You know, if they see blitzes coming, they're gonna put someone over there to pick that blitz up. They're not just gonna be like, oh, Abdul Carter's blitzing for the left. We're just gonna let him go free at our quarterback. Hell no. They're putting someone over there to stop him. To think that we're just going up there with a plain Jane offense and letting them do what we're not adjusting to what defensive lineup they have in is absolutely crazy to me. And if that is the case, let's say that is the case, what's the point of having joint practices? You still there, Kat? We'll bring Fred up. True Fin fan, I see you. Fred, what up?
What's up, Big C? And if you don't mind, I like to keep it right there, man, with that with the Dolphins rushing the football, bro. Like you tell me, Alan Poupart said the Dolphins have 4 rushes, only a yard, bro. Out of how many rushes, bro? Did he say out of how many rushes? I mean, come on, man. Let's say the Dolphins had 20 in a regular game. They had 25 rushes. So what's 4 1-yard rushes? What's that when you rush the ball 25 times, man? You know what I'm saying? You know, and then another thing. I mean, yeah, you know what you do. I mean, you know what you do to combat that fast. What's his name? Brian Burns and Carter, bro, you keep running the ball at them. So this is what I mean by nothing schemed up to where you just nullify those guys, man. Just running it at them, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that 7-yard average I had, man, I got that off of Carl Banks and another guy sitting there, you know, going over the scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Carl Banks said. Yeah, the Giants look bad against the Dolphins run. You know what I mean? So what do you do to get if the team is having trouble with your rush? What do you do? You keep running it at them. You keep running it. You don't all of a sudden come up off of something that's working.
But again,
put
Fred,
you at a disadvantage.
Is it having trouble?
You know
is it having
saying?
trouble with the? Is it having trouble with the rush if you've only had 4 carries over 1 yard?
Yeah, what's 4 carries only a yard, bro? 4 carries. Did Alan Poupart say how many carries that, you know, I mean, how many carries did they have? I mean, how many times did the Dolphins rush the ball?
Only 4 carries that they had went over a yard.
If they rush the ball 20 times, bro. Let's say they rushed it 20 times. We don't know how many times
16
they rushed it.
That means 16 carries. That means 16 carries went for no yards or less.
1 yard. 20 rushes, bro. You got 1 yard on 20 rushes, bro.
No.
1 yard. No,
Listen
1
to,
yard.
listen to the stat. Listen to the stat.
I got it wrong. I got that wrong. You got 4 1 yard rushes out of 20 rushes, bro. Come on, bro. Come on.
No, listen to the stat, Fred. You're getting confused. Only out of all their rushing attempts, only 4 of them went for positive yards.
That ain't how you gave it to me, bro.
That's how I said. They only had 4 runs.
You said they had 4
that were 1 yard or over.
Bro.
No, I didn't. I said there was 4 runs
for
over
line,
1 yard.
Bottom line, man, is I heard the Dolphins rushing game was up to par. You know what I'm saying? I heard they had a very good rushing attack against the Giants. And my point is, man, that's what you give Burns and Carter. What you those up, bro? If they're so fast getting upfield, bro, is what it is, man. They probably have trouble against the rush. So what I'm saying by you, they're not scheming up anything. What I mean by so that's why I said they're not scheming up anything, man. Then you keep running at them, bro, until they can stop that.
You can't keep. You can't keep. They did stop it. They did stop it, Fred. We only had 4 carries that gained positive yardage.
Okay, so all that, so everybody's lying. Everything I'm hearing from the Dolphins.
No, you heard one thing that you heard one thing from Carl Banks. You said that we averaged 7 yards a carry.
Yeah, I heard Carl Banks said they were averaging. Right. The Dolphins were averaging 7 yards a carry.
So they probably averaged in Achane 70-yard touchdown run.
I don't know what they averaging with whatever, man. Just to do with it what you like, man. But this is coming from I don't know if Carl Banks is a Hall of Famer or what, but you know what he was over there in New York, bro. And he's saying it like, yes, they need to tighten up their run defense because the Dolphins had their way with them on rushing the ball, bro. I sat there and listened right to him.
I would like to hear that.
Okay, you got to go find that, man. This guy is Carl Banks and this other guy, man. They behind a big window. He got on a light green. You know, he get the Dolphins color shirt, man. And yeah. And that's what he said. The Dolphins gashed them in the running game, bro. So what Alan Poupard is saying, man, I don't know. Why would it? I don't know. I don't like Alan Poupard. No way, tell you the truth, bro.
Oh, so he's lying. He's lying.
No, I ain't saying he's lying, bro. But come on, man. If you said he had the Dolphins had 4 rushes that went for only 4 for 1 yard, bro.
That went over 1 yard.
Come on. Somebody bullshitting this. Somebody's weak on their reporting there, bro. But look, man, I ain't come up here to, disrespect the show or nothing like that, man. I just hate anything, negative about my Dolphins, especially in scrimmage, bro. We're talking about scrimmage, bro. Scrimmage. Come on, man. Nothing's drawn up. No pass, no pass protections being called. None of that, bro. Just get up there and just run.
You can't possibly
when you got a defensive line full of guys that just want to run upfield. They probably don't even want to tackle, bro. They just want to get upfield. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, Fred. I'm gonna have True Fin Fan on. Stay in the background though, so I can pull you back up.
All right, bro. All right.
True Fin Fan, what up?
What's up, Big C? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well.
All right. Listen, just because people have different opinions, let's not call them stupid or idiots or what I mean. It's just a difference of opinion.
Yeah, I will. I want to ask because I'm not able to watch and be into the practices and all of this stuff because of work related. So I'm gonna go based on what you're letting me know. When you said 4 over 1 yard, which I think is what Fred wasn't understanding, are you saying that we only had 4 runs that went for positive yards out of all the rushes?
That's what Alan Poupard said. That's what Alan Poupard said on the Dolphin Collective. Like I said, I'm not there to watch practices firsthand. So I go by people that Alan Poupard's someone that most people respect.
I respect him very much.
he's not one of these guys that out there and try to lead fake narratives, in my opinion. So
He's
when
not.
he
He is
said
not.
TD was like, well, I heard we ran the ball well yesterday, and Poupart put a stop to that. He's like, listen, you had 4 carries that went for over 1 yard, 4 carries. The rest of the time they were in the Dolphins' backfield. You had the HN long run. You had Ollie Gordon who had a decent long run, and then maybe a 4-yard run, a 6-yard run, but 4 carries over 1 yard.
Right. And I think that that's the part that Fred is getting confused in. So I use this example to hopefully to make sense to it. Let's say we run the ball in a game 25 times. We rushed for 120 yards because two of those rushes were 60 yards each. That means that 23 of them did not gain any positive yardage. That's not a good run day, even if it says that we ran for 120 yards.
I agree.
Right. That's the part where people like people who don't understand certain things and are so thirsty, and I get it, and are so thirsty to be good, to be relevant. They leave these realities out of the mix. Like, yeah, we ran for 120 yards. Yeah, there were 2 long runs. The rest of the game we couldn't get the ball past the line of scrimmage. The scrimmage, and another thing that is a little bit crazy for me to believe, watching football as long as I have, it sounds crazy to me to hear that you're going into a scrimmage and you're not going to practice on things that you're going to be doing during the season, like extra blocking, extra schemes, especially against a team that you're not going to face during the season in the regular season anyhow. So like when I
Yeah,
hear
like they
things
go
like
in,
that, it's
like they
like,
go in blind, no game plan, right?
yeah, no game plan. Hey man, listen, we've got 5 off right. We got 5 offensive linemen. You guys are gonna get no help. Don't do too much. We'll practice on that during the game. You know what I'm saying? And it seems to me that it's more based on people who say this. It's hard for people to accept reality in all facts of life. I get it. But it's okay, dude. Like you've been saying 50 million times, like I've been saying 50 million times. We know we're not going to be good, and we're okay with that because we're still excited for what's coming. But some fans don't want to hear this. You know what I'm saying? The defensive line for the Giants is no joke, dude. They don't really need to blitz much. That's the dream scenario for every team. If you could create a pass rush with your front line, with your defensive line, that is a dream scenario. And people don't want to, like, again, it frustrates me to hear the things that I hear. Like, people just don't see, they don't get it. Right? It's no, man. What do you mean? We ran over, we ran it down their throats and we kicked their butts. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. That's not true. You get me? I'll listen to your thoughts more, Big C. I don't want to take up all the time just talking because I like to go back and forth in conversations.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Everybody wants this team to be really good, and people find it hard to believe. They just so desperately want something to grasp onto, like the Caleb Douglas thing. Everybody's so quick to anoint him as the next great receiver because they desperately need that and they desperately want that.
Right.
They want it
Right.
to be true. So they hear he makes a catch and they just want to jump out the window with it. And I get it. I want this team to be good. I'm in desperate need for it. You know what I mean?
Same here, bro.
But
Yeah.
in reality, how many receivers have we seen come through the door? And there's been hype around Preston Williams. I heard Preston Williams had a tremendous training camp, a tremendous preseason, and then no show in the regular season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Devontae Parker. I mean, like how many guys have we brought in the door? Mike Wallace.
Oh, yeah.
Just guy after guy after guy. And there's a lot more. And I hope that I don't turn out to be right, but Caleb Douglas to me is a lot closer to Robbie Anderson than he is Randy Moss. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
I
You got a
100%
big,
agree.
tall guy that's super fast, but he had one catch yesterday for 12 yards. He double caught the ball. It wasn't a clean catch. He double
Oh,
caught
it wasn't a clean
The
catch
day
with his
before that,
hands.
he had 0 catches. No, it was a double catch. He had to double catch it.
Mhm.
So I mean, like, what is this guy really doing? He hasn't dominated any individual practice. You know what I mean? Against a secondary that is not very good. We can all admit, as Dolphin fans, that our secondary is probably the weakest unit on this football team.
I believe so.
And you're not out there dominating. You're supposed to have an elite quarterback in Malik Willis. We keep hearing how he's elite. He's a top 10 quarterback. He's going to be the savior of the Miami Dolphins. So if you got an elite quarterback and a supposed elite wide receiver, why aren't you dominating the secondary in practice?
Mm-hmm. I think
why aren't you having
another
5-6 catches for multiple touchdowns, highlight reel catches all the time?
yeah, I think another thing that um that I see that people don't seem to notice, or not all, but some. If me and you, Big C, let's say me and you get into a boxing ring and we spar with one another. Once we go through 3, 4, 5 sparring sessions, we're gonna know each other pretty well. And if you're not as good as I am, right, there's gonna come a time because you're not good at it where I'm gonna show out and I'm gonna look a whole lot better than what I really am. But when I get in the ring with somebody else, the Giants, who haven't seen me, who I haven't seen, who are actually better than the daily practices I go up against, then what happens? We see things like this, right? But fans, again, it's like it's a hard reality for people to see. You know, they don't want to hear it. You know, just like Fred said earlier, and he said it so accurately. I hate to hear anything negative from my Dolphin fans. So then, how realistic are you? And I don't mean to call Fred out. I don't mean to call anybody out. I'm saying it as a whole to the Dolphin Nation that says something like that. You know, who feels that way. I hate to hear anything negative, and these are the ones that you're gonna hear give you the backlash that they give you, give me the backlash that they give me because they don't want to. They don't live in the reality. It's the reality. Big C is this, and I'm gonna end it with this. So you can continue your show. I don't want to hog it up because I'm listening. The reality is this: people need to stop acting and thinking like we had one draft, like we have 1 year, or it's over and we'll never play football again. The reality is there will be money available coming up. There will be more draft picks coming up. The coaches will get better. The GMs will keep doing their thing if the GM is good. The reality is there is still more to come, guys. It's not just we did this, we didn't achieve that, and we're horrible. So with that, I'm gonna let you go, Big C, and thanks for always giving me a platform to speak on. I enjoy your show, and I listen. If it's not home, I listen at work, and even if I'm on my boat, bro, believe me. So fins up and keep doing your thing, bro.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. And listen, I think true Fin fans right. And Fred, I'll bring you back up in a second. I think true Fin fans right. I think people, you know, you just gotta be a little bit more patient. I know that people are thirsty for success. I know that. Eh, but this is just the beginning stages. And from everything that I've seen so far, I think we're moving in the right direction. Just pump your brakes a little bit. Just let the process play out. You know, the players are going to be who they're going to be. We don't have to put a label on them. We don't have to label Caleb Douglas as the next top guy. This team's backs up against the wall as far as salary cap, as far as the amount of talented players on this team, as far as players and coaches that have experience. We're limited. We're limited. So you don't need to make up a scenario where Caleb Douglas is Randy Moss in order to justify your hopes and dreams of making a playoff run this year. Chances are we're not making a playoff run this year. Chances are we'll be lucky if we get six wins. Lucky. 6 wins is luck. Fred, give me a second. Let me get Glenn up here and I'll get you back up. Glenn, go ahead, brother.
Hello. Hey,
Good
yeah,
morning.
practice it because it's actually easy to beat a blitz, right? You could
I
beat
mean,
a
if
blitz. That's not.
I don't think it was just
You sitting
it
in
wasn't
blitz,
just
I
the
could beat
blitz.
you all day.
It wasn't just the blitzes yesterday. It was
I
them
just
dominating our offensive line.
I just
Glenn.
run a screen. Those are blitz
Well,
killers.
they were running screens, but uh,
They ran one screen
the
yesterday,
pressure mostly came.
and it
Yeah, we could
popped.
talk about the blitzes that they ran yesterday. Let's take them away. The fact is, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, they were just beating our offensive line straight up. They were getting pressure straight up. It wasn't just through blitzes. It's not like the Giants blitzed every play. And I think that's what's concerning is how often that Giants defensive line beat our offensive line and make them look foolish. Even if you take away the blitz plays. You get what I'm saying, Glenn? You still there? All right, Fred, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Gotta reply the true Finn fan. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Like, first of all, man, I don't know what that boxing scenario thing was, bro. Like, what that had to do with football, your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, but I'm still here to say, man, like, I do believe Malik Willis is like is a great quarterback, bro, and can do so many things that will help this team. I mean, I'll even go as more to say with Malik's attributes and the things he can do. Bro, I say your number 2 wide receiver, by him keeping plays alive, with his ability to that. Your number 2 wide receiver has every chance to look like a number 1. With Malik's abilities, your number 3 has every chance to look like a number 2. So that's where we are. That's where I am with Malik's ability, bro. And any wide receiver on any given week, bro, that'll help this team, bro. Not just one dude every week. It'll be a variety of ways, to me, a variety of ways for this Dolphins offense to hurt teams is the way I see it. And
but Fred, yesterday, the offensive line,
look,
yesterday the Giants.
I understand the Brian Burns and the Carter situation. Some great pass rushing dudes. I'm not going to play, and they'll do that against a number of tackles in the NFL. I'm quite sure, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just what they do. But when it comes down to actual football games, man, like Cap said, look, I'm looking for the offense to be help out on them, chip on them, want to release back out in the flat. I'm looking for some real game planning against those dudes, bro. So when I do that, so scrimmage, bro, that's all it is, scrimmage. You want to see what the guys can do, what he looks like what he's looking at. Nothing's calling for help on anything in the scrimmage. Hell, maybe they'll do it in preseason. Okay, let me ask you a question. Big C, does scrimmage and preseason, are they the same to you?
Scrimmage and preseason?
Yes, a scrimmage game, and then when you got a preseason game on television, bro, and when you got a scrimmage where nobody's allowed to come see, I guess maybe they have it open, I don't know, but you'll definitely probably see it preseason on TV. Are there any differences in scrimmage games and preseason games to you, bro? I don't even think scrimmage is a game, bro. That's what it is, a scrimmage. But you got your preseason game, bro. Are they both the same to you? Let me ask you.
I mean, I don't think they're too far off, honestly. I don't, you know what I mean? I think both are an opportunity to get better and see where you're at as a team.
I do, bro. I don't think you're gonna be throwing punches in preseason. You know what I mean? Looks bad. Yeah, I mean, talking about Carter punching Patrick Paul. I don't think you're going to see that in preseason. However, you're definitely not going to see fights they carried out. You're not going to see that in preseason. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You got your scrimmage and you got your preseasons. I kind of think the Dolphins will do a little bit better against them guys, than pass rushing guys, or that defensive front for that matter. I think they'll do better during a preseason game against those guys than what we saw in the scrimmage, bro. Hey, Big C, if you got somebody up in the back, somebody else in the back, man, you bring them up. Can I stay here, bro?
Yeah, just don't interrupt.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, I ain't going to interrupt nothing. I'm not going to interrupt nothing. I'll let them do it just like I let True Fin fan do it, bro.
Mark, what's up? Mark, you there? Mark, you still there? Hello, Mark. Here he goes. You there, Mark?
Yeah, I'm here. I had a question. If you had to rate Caleb Douglas as far as the rest of the AFC receivers and then the receiver group, would he be a 4 anyplace else?
Who? Caleb Douglas? Is that who
He would
said?
be a 5 on the Bills. He'd be a 6 on the Jets, and probably
Caleb
a 4
Douglas?
in the Jets. Maybe a 4 on the Jets.
Is that who you're talking about?
6 on
Caleb
the
Douglas?
Yeah, 6 on the Patriots, 5 on the Bills.
I mean, I think it's too early to say all that. Like maybe coming into practice, but he is a guy that's got elite traits. So I mean, I think he'd have an opportunity to be higher on people's depth charts. But again, we don't know what he is really. You know what I mean? It just kills me that people are so quick to anoint him and put him on this pedestal with very limited production. You know what I mean? Limited.
This is the point that I'm bringing up.
That he's made.
That the fans are so desperate for a quality player. They don't understand that this guy is like the 4th or 5th on the depth chart on all the teams in the division. I mean, even Omar Cooper of the Jets is higher because he was drafted higher. The only reason he's ahead of Skylar Bell in Buffalo is because Skylar Bell has been hurt.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I think his potential is listen, his potential's through the roof. Like he's got elite traits, like I said, but as of right now, he is proven 0. He hasn't played a regular season game. We don't know what his ceiling is. So, could he be a number 1, a number 2, a number 3 wide receiver in this league? Sure. I'm just saying at this point right now, it's too early to determine any of that because he's caught a couple passes in practice.
Okay, could he be a top 3 in any of the other AFC East teams currently? No, not even close.
I mean, again, I don't know if we can necessarily determine that.
Well, he'll get numbers because he's going to be thrown to.
I mean, he doesn't have an opportunity. Yeah, I mean, we all know. I mean, people know football, and people can tell the difference between if he's just getting force fed and he's making catches and making plays because he's the only guy. You know what I mean? But if he goes out there and week to week he looks like he's a viable option, then I just don't think there's enough evidence. It's to be determined. You can't give a realistic take like that. Can I say that he's not better than Garrett Wilson? Yeah, absolutely. Can I say he's more
not better
Buffalo?
than DJ
Absolutely.
Moore? He's not better than AJ Brown, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So, absolutely. These are proven commodity guys around the league, though. So I don't feel like that's a real slap at Caleb Douglas. There's just not enough evidence. You got to give him an opportunity to play some real meaningful games before we say that he sucks or we say that he's good. It goes
I want
both
to see
ways.
opening day. I want to see what happens when teams man up Washington and Douglas, and the tight end's not a threat. They're going to go with 2 tight ends, and then they're going to try to run the running game, and they're going to run 7 on 9. I want to see what happens. Because you can man up on Miami's wide receivers right now, and with 2 tight ends, not that much of a threat. So now you got 9 guys in the box. Good luck.
Well, there you go, Miller. There's my cousin right there. They've been asking for you since we had joint practices with the Giants. Yeah, like I said, Mark, it's too early. You just can't say, like, as much as I give people grief for saying that he's a god, I got to give you as much grief for saying that he's trash. You know what I mean? That, or not even that he's trash, that he's a number 5 on every other team. I can't say that because I don't know. I just don't know. There's not enough proof. True Fin fan.
Yeah, man, I had to come up because I wanted Mark to be here because I wanted him to answer this question. And Fred, what's up, brother? I see you there. I hope you didn't take anything personal. You know I rock with you everywhere. Much love, bro. Why are we comparing a guy who has yet to play a single regular season game in his career to anybody that started? I get it. Mark is yet another Bills fan who we drive him crazy for some reason or the other. I mean, we haven't been anything, and yet this happens. But again, I want somebody to answer this question. Why are you comparing him? I'll give you that. You're right. He'll be the 6th player on any other team because he's a rookie, especially on a team who has starters already. Like people say things to make them sound smart that truly bother me. You understand what I'm saying, Big C? This guy hasn't played a regular season game, and you're dead on right. Let's not anoint him and let's not kill him. Let's wait to evaluate what he does in the season.
But True Fin fan, I think that his saying that is because Dolphin fans are saying the opposite. You know what I mean? He's point. You know, I don't think he has an opinion on Caleb Douglas regularly, other than the fact that Miami Dolphins are saying that Caleb Douglas is such a great player. You know what I mean? Or saying that he's better than DJ Moore, or saying that he's, you know what I mean? Saying he's our new number 1 wide receiver. And so his comeback to that is, hey, you know what I mean?
I hear you. So he's basically telling. Go ahead.
He's saying that because Dolphin fans are putting him on a pedestal. You know what I mean? He's not just coming in here to bash them. You know what I mean? And I
get you.
Listen, I hate to look like I'm sticking up for a Bills guy, but again, here on my channel, I do what's right, regardless of who it is. If a Bills guy's right, I'm going to say that he's right. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go against him because he's on the Bills. You know what I mean? Or for the Bills. Yeah, and if you don't like that about my channel, I apologize and I'm sorry, but that's who I am. You know what I mean?
Don't apologize. Don't apologize.
What does me lying to people about this joint practice and who did better and who did good? What does that do for this Dolphins team? Does it make them better? Does it make them any closer to making the playoffs or making a playoff run? You know what I mean? It doesn't. So again, I could come out here and say, yeah, the Dolphins looked tremendous in joint practice yesterday. They, you know, the only reason that they gave up any plays is because they came out and weren't trying, or were running a very vanilla offense, or weren't trying to show their hand. You know what I mean? Which none of those things are true. That they have no reason not to hide things from the New York Giants. They have no reason to. They don't play the Giants. The media is not recording this and sending it to the million different teams. If you think that they just let the Giants cock their heads back and pass rush us and didn't put a running back over the chip somebody or this, that, and the third, I mean,
yeah.
Glenn says, I tried to get back on, but having problems with internet. Maybe next week. And you're telling me you're worried about depth because offense played good. I'm worried about this team's depth as a whole because teams get injured, players get injured, and the guys that are backing up our starters are low level guys. That's when
To say the least. Yeah.
that's when the salary cap it really hits us. People say, "Oh, 180 million dollars." Well, this team did this. This team did that. Okay, maybe they had the same amount of quality players that we did. But where that 180 million in dead cap really hurts us is the guys that back up our starters.
Exactly.
Yeah, it hurts us as the amount of talented players we get in the starting lineup. Maybe with that extra $80 million that, the Denver Broncos had, they could have added one or two more starters, but it's the depth behind the starters. It's the quality of player behind the starters when our starters go down or have to miss a week or two. It's who's filling in for them. And if they can do an adequate job, or if everything falls apart because they just can't hold their own. You know what I mean? And one piece can blow up a game plan. One right tackle, Caden Wallace, or whatever his name is, the offensive lineman we picked up from our Patriots. If we have to put him in at right tackle, that could throw this whole offense off. It could throw it all off.
Yeah, it
So
can.
that's what I mean
And
by the lack of depth is concerning for me.
yeah, and I think those are valid points, because we can't compare. And people use the whole Denver Bronco thing because of the Russell Wilson thing and us with Tua. Those, you can't compare that. What the Miami Dolphins are going through this season is a first time. It's unheard of. I don't recall any time where there was a team going into a season that only had 38% available cap space. All right. After, not now. There could have been a team that had their core players and they were in cap hell, but we don't have any core players besides A Chain, Sealer. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know we have a quarterback. We don't, they had Sean Payton. It's such a weird comparison for me, because it's not the same, dude. It's not the same. That team in Denver was better than we are this year. As much as people don't want to see it. And another thing, the coach that they had is a veteran Super Bowl winning coach who obviously we see now knows what he's doing, because he did it here too with Denver. Okay, so that comparison to me is just dumb. We don't know we don't know what we have at coach. And what you're saying about depth is 100% right. Like if we have the only chance, I got us at 2-15 or 4-13 if everything goes well. I'm hoping that I'm terribly wrong, because I'm a fan, right? But it's what I see. But if by any chance we have any injury to Malik Willis, to A Chain, anybody on that line, brother, it's gonna be uglier. It's gonna be bad. And it's football. Injuries will happen.
Yeah, injuries definitely will happen. We only got 10 likes. Can we get that number up a little bit? Like, dang. Like, I know 10 of you are in here. There's more than 10 of you in here religiously. Like, what's up? You ain't got no love for Big C? You ain't got no love for Big C?
Snoop.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for.
You mean the Fitz Posse chat don't got love for Big C?
Yeah.
I'm
That's
old enough
exactly
to
what
outlive that, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. Oh, man. Fred, any thoughts?
Yeah, man, I got one more, man. I just like to. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I just got one more
I'll
thought,
let you
man.
guys in, man. I'm gonna step off, man. Like I said, I'm gonna keep listening. I'll talk to you later, Big C. Fred.
I got one more thought, Big C, and that's, I'm not ready to put Caleb Douglas on a pedestal yet, but I'm not ready to call him trash either. You know what I'm saying? Because I watched the number one wide receiver here in Miami the last 2 years go a season with maybe one catch and then maybe none at all. referring to Waddle. So, and he was the number one. Well, at least a lot of people had him as the number one. I didn't think he was the number one. I thought he was a slot dude myself, who didn't even need to be out on the edge, if you ask me. But that's just me. But I'm not willing to put Caleb Douglas on a pedestal. However, I like his attributes, bro, and you know what I'm saying. And like I said, with a quarterback like Malik Willis, man, he's got the ability to uplift anybody's game, bro, any wide receiver's game. And I'm gonna leave you with that there, Big C, and I'll talk to you next time, bro.
I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. See, my thing with that though is like, can't you say that Robbie Anderson had those same attributes? Robbie Anderson, you know what I mean? Probably looked good in practice, catching 2 out of 3 balls or 3 out of 4 balls, or you know what I mean? Robbie Anderson make a one-hand catch. So to me, you can't, like, he could be anything between Robbie Anderson to that Randy Moss. You just don't know yet. Give him some time. I hope he turns out to be the best version of himself. But to anoint him or say we got Caleb Douglas, like it's a positive thing, like it's not necessarily. We don't know. We just don't know. We don't know what a lot of these guys are going to end up being. And I hope that they turn out to be great players for the Dolphins. It's just too early to tell. Again, I didn't expect us to get the best of the Giants. I wish that we could have ran the ball a little more efficiently because that's supposed to be our bread and butter. I wish we blocked for Malik Willis a little bit better yesterday. We're able to slow down their pass rush, even though they got a bunch of great pass rushers. And weekly, we're not going to face that number of great pass rushers on a singular team. But that doesn't mean we're not going to go up against great guys. You know, week 1, we got Max Crosby. Max Crosby is one of the best pass rushers in all of football. Max Crosby's still on their team, right? He's still on the Raiders, right? I know that he possibly got traded, then got traded back, or the trade didn't go through. The next week, we got Bosa, you know what I mean? So we're going to go against our fair share of great pass rushers in this league. And if we can't slow them down, that's going to give this offense fits. Now, defensively, if we can stop the run, that's going to put us in a lot better position. But again, if we can't slow people's passing attack down, that's going to give us major issues also. Bonnie says, I believe CD has the talent, but we need to see more. And I agree. You know what I mean? We do need to see more. I do think he's got a certain amount of talent, but Robbie Anderson had talent, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Robbie Anderson had talent. What separates Caleb Douglas from Robbie Anderson? Why are people so quick to say Caleb Douglas is a number one when he has shown no more than what Robbie Anderson's shown more than that? At one time, Robbie Anderson was the number one for the Jets. And I think we can all agree that Robbie Anderson ain't a real number one. He's maybe a number 3 wide receiver at his best. And I'm not saying that Caleb Douglas is going to end up being right, but we do not know. I think if Caleb Douglas ends up being a Robbie Anderson type player, that's not a bad player. I don't know if I'd necessarily. I mean, Robbie Anderson, when he was at his best, was a pretty good receiver. He just wasn't a number 1 or a number 2. Can Caleb Douglas exceed that? By all means, absolutely can. But he's got to prove it. He's got to show it. Hopefully, we learn some more. From this preseason game coming up against the Giants. Hopefully, our offensive line has learned a thing or two since this joint practice, and we're able to. Hold on, let me fix my mic. Sorry about that. Uh yeah, hopefully our offense goes against their starters, and we show that we learned something. Make sure you hit that like button for me, subscribe, comment, share. Glenn, thank you for the super chat. I didn't want to forget you on that. I appreciate it. It means a lot for real. Again, I don't make people super chat. I don't make people send things out for me to acknowledge them in the chat. But at least hit that like button for me. You guys are killing me with the likes. That's what helps you hit the algorithm. I know we had 30 people in here at one time, and we got 12 likes. It takes 2 seconds to hit that like. Help me out. Help the channel grow. I appreciate y'all. But I need your help. I need your help to grow. I need your help. Miller says, I watch TD, but I don't watch religiously. I watch as much of all these guys as I can. But again, if I'm gonna take what I'm trying to figure out happened at practice or what happens behind the scenes, I'm gonna listen to Alan Poupart before I listen to anybody. Now you can have your favorite beat writer, your favorite inside guy, but I feel like Alan Poupart's a pretty straight shooter. I think he's a pretty straight shooter. I don't think he has a hidden agenda. I don't think he hates the Dolphins, but I don't think he's in love with the Dolphins neither. He's not paid by the Dolphins. He's a guy that's going to go out there and report the news. He's going to report the facts. So when Alan Poupart says something, I take it as real news, real facts. When TD says something, I have to understand that TD's a fan. I have to understand that TD's a fan. So a fan can have their opinions swayed by their emotional connection to the team. As can I at times. As can I at times. By saying Chop Robinson was going to get 15 sacks last year, or saying Tua Tagovailoa led offense last year was going to make the playoffs. I allow my heart to interject and sway my opinions at times. But I'm trying my best not to let that happen anymore. And I'm taking a lot of heat from it, like I'm a Dolphin hater, or like I'm just a Debbie Downer, and I don't want to be that. But it's important for me to keep things as 100 as I can. So I'm going to continue to report things the way that I see them, things that I hear, and it might not be the most positive news for the Miami Dolphins, but I gotta live my truth, and I gotta speak the facts that I feel are real. Well, I appreciate that, Cuzzo. Chop is at least a bright spot for us. He seems to be the most consistent so far. Bonnie, he's been our best player at camp so far. And he didn't have the best day yesterday, but he's been our best piece at camp so far. And that's very positive. I'll check it out, Frederick. Fred, like I said, that 70-yard run from Achane might have took that rushing, you said yards per carry. That might have took that yards per carry up a whole bunch. And then maybe they only ran the ball 12 times. You know what I mean? So who knows? Again, you can go back, watch the Dolphin Collective. Uh, less than halfway through, they talk about the running game, and TD says, "Well, I heard they ran the ball pretty well." Blah blah blah, and Alan Poupart says, "No, this is what happened. This is what happened." So, I mean, Alan Poupart was right there watching practice, 100% watching practice. It is what it is. The Dolphins have the Giants Saturday. Hopefully, there's improvement. Uh, hopefully, we can come out. Hopefully, the starters play against the Giant starters. You know, last week we had the Commanders. Our starting offense drove down the field and scored a touchdown, but we were going against Washington's backups for the most part. I would love to see the Dolphins starting offense against the Giants starting defense, and I want to see them go back and forth in front of our faces. No, no, depending on what the beat reporters say, no, depending on what he, she, Tom, Dick, and Harry say. We get an opportunity to trust our own eyes and get a chance to get a feel for ourselves. And I think we need that as fans at this point. The regular season is rapidly approaching. We are going to see what's up. Week 1 against the Las Vegas Raiders. That's when the gloves come off, the protection comes off, and we get to see the real deal. Mike Jones says, "Let the game speak." Absolutely. Let our eyes see what really happens. Let's see what's really going on. But I'm excited for Saturday's preseason game. I'm not sure who's going to play. Hopefully, most of the starters. I'm guessing that Zach Sealer, Kenneth Grant, Jordan Brooks, a Trader, they're probably not playing on the defensive side of the ball. But to me, it's really about this offense, the Miami Dolphins offense, and that offensive line against the Giants, elite pass rushers. The defense is the defense. I think we're going to be good against the run this year, and our weakness is going to be against the pass. But offensively, everybody thought that this was a top 10, top 5 offensive line unit if healthy. And if the Giants go out there and bully our starting offensive line unit, we have to consider maybe they're not as good as we thought they were going to be. And that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. AB says Malik needs to play a whole half from now on. Oh, I'm not against AB. I don't think that you're necessarily wrong, but I don't know if they stick him out there like that. I don't know if they stick him out there like that. What up, Lou? Our O-line got beat up yesterday versus the Giants. What did Caleb Douglas do yesterday? It's going to be a long season. Lou, you're late getting here, but yeah, this offensive line wasn't very good. Caleb Douglas, 1 catch. He had to double catch it. It wasn't very good. I don't know. I got a few more minutes. Lou, you want to come up and say what you think about practice yesterday? The begotten son. Yeah, too much of a risk. I hope Devon Achane doesn't play not a single snap. Like, I think they're risking Devon Achane way too much. I don't even want to see him in joint practices. I don't want to see Devon Achane at all. Man, y'all listen to TD Finn's talk. It was not all bad as they try to make it seem. TD is definitely a glass half full kind of guy. And I love TD. TD's my boy. TD's helped me a great deal. I've said it a million times. But again, TD tries that positive talk on the collective, and Poupart kind of, stops him. You know what I mean? So I take what TD says. I go by the information on the Dolphin Collective a lot more than I go by TD's individual show. The realist says, I don't know where this narrative about Von being injury prone at all. I don't think people realize he had almost 1,000 carries in the NFL and he's only 24 years old, if that. I'm not saying he's injury prone. I just don't see the need to put the extra mileage on him. We're gonna have to rely on Devon a lot this year. Why put the extra stress on him? Lou says TD wasn't there with all due respect. It was bad offensive unit and defense unit. Both lost the majority of the day. I mean, what did he say was not as bad as people are portraying? Lou, I'd love to hear what you said. You heard at practice, if you want, if you got time, brother. Michael K says because two of the four are actually there watching it. TD and the other report just what they read or make up. Yeah, and I mean sometimes he questions. It's weird because he kind of questions like what Poupart seen, and Poupart, you know, Poupart's like, no, I was there, I watched it. But yeah, I mean, the offensive line struggled. They struggled mightily. Literally said Malik Willis was running for his life. Caleb Douglas, another no show day. I mean, Fred said that, what stops the blitz and stops the pressure is run the ball efficiently. But Poupart said there was only 4 runs that went over 1 yard. Only 4 plays that went over 1 yard. They were consistently in our backfield. And then defensively, I mean, I don't think we were horribly defensively, but we couldn't stop Isaiah Likely, that's for sure. We did pretty well against the run. AB says, yes, I'm not sold on Halfley at all. I got to see it on the field. See, Halfley's not the issue for me. Halfley's not the issue for me. The issue for me is we just haven't had enough time to build it back up. We've only had one draft and one free agent period. In that free agent period, we had no money. Lou, what's up, my brother?
Big C, what's good?
Chilling. How you doing today?
Oh man, it's I've had to spend the whole week in Georgia for my job. So I'm gonna be getting off here soon and start heading back down to Florida. So good,
Okay,
good to be off early on a Friday, but a long drive ahead.
Yeah, them long drives suck.
Yeah. But Yeah, listen, we'll be talking about it tonight on the Blitz pickup. You know, but Tone, my co-host Tony, he was out there yesterday. He's been going to a lot of the training camps. Um, it wasn't a good day. Like these people that want to come out and say it was and try to paint the picture. Like Caleb Douglas again was a no-show. The day before he had no catches. Yesterday he had one. I know they're going to show you the videos of one-on-one on 7-on-7. The problem is our head coach basically said he don't care about some one-on-one and 7-on-7s. So yeah, he was a no-show. The offensive line got dominated. Outside of 2 runs, we couldn't run the ball against the Giants. And then defensively, yeah, it wasn't good neither. We couldn't stop. I heard we couldn't stop neither one of their tight ends. Our ex-tight end killed us too. I believe Tanner Connor, he was killing them. Isaiah Likely was killing them. Remember, Malik Neighbors didn't practice yesterday, so I'm sure he would have killed that secondary. All in all, it's kind of like what we've been saying, Big C. It's not going to be a good season overall for the Dolphins. It's just not. It's going to be a long season for us, and that just is what it is. But I don't want people to come out and say, oh, well, the Dolphins did something good yesterday. Or no, they didn't. They got beat again, and it was pretty much in all 3 phases of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we were missing a bunch of defensive starters. I don't think any of them were going to slow Isaiah Likely down. And again, Malik Neighbors being out, he's definitely their number 1 receiver. Again, this year is about getting better. Our offensive line, which was concerning to me, is how our offensive line performed. And a lot of people are saying it's because they blitzed us, and we didn't go out there, and we didn't. For some reason, they're acting like we didn't make adjustments, and I don't know. Like we just came out there and let them free rush at our quarterback. No, we did chip blocks. I'm sure they put someone over there when they seen a blitz was coming. But the fact that Abdul Carter, Thibodeau, Reese, who else do they got over there? Brian Burns. The way they dominated our offensive line is really concerning because I felt like that was a strength of our football team.
Well, again, we've been hearing it's a strength, but we hear it's a strength when they're facing our defensive line, like Kenny Grant, who is I don't want to say he's a bust yet, but he hasn't panned out to be what the 13th overall pick in 2 years ago in the first round. He's not that, or last year. No. Like he hasn't lived up to the bill. What we do know, Big C, is when we had the joint practice against the Commanders, we heard the same thing. Our offensive line looked trash. Now, everybody got excited in the preseason game. They were going up against backups. The Commanders threw their backups people out there because they had already dominated us in practice. Yeah, I don't want to hear the excuse that they were blitzing us. Cool. Nobody looked good yesterday. Jonah looked like terrible from what I heard. Austin Jackson looked terrible. Caden Proctor looked terrible. The only ones I heard that kind of even looked halfway decent was Aaron Brewer and Patrick Paul. And even they got beat on a couple snaps from what I heard. Big C, it got so bad that, remember, Coach Hafley has said if you throw a puncher out of practice, he threw Austin Jackson out of practice because Austin Jackson threw a punch. It got so bad.
And brought him back.
They brought him back, Big C. That's how you know how this offensive line was performing yesterday. Again, it's going to be a concern. They haven't shown the ability to be good against upper tier talent, right? It's good when you're going against Kenny Grant and things of that nature. It's not good when you're facing, and arguably, Big C, the Giants have a top 5, let's say, defensive line in the league.
Yeah,
and they showed it yesterday. They looked dominant yesterday, and this offensive line looked like I don't want to cuss, but it looked terrible, like, for better words, you know. So I don't know.
My cousin right there said that they had to restart that 2-minute drill at the end. They had a minute 12, I think it was, the drive down the field. It was so bad the Dolphins said, "Let's start over. Let's do it again." Like the end practice, they both had a minute 12 on the clock. I think it was the drive down the field. and typically that's how you end practice. And the Miami Dolphins, Malik Willis took 2 sacks to start, and they was like, "Can we start again?"
Yeah, listen, it was bad. They supposedly Tony told me that he didn't even understand why they had restarted it, Big C, because he said basically to end the practice, the Giants got the ball, the Dolphins were going to get the ball. It was kind of like a 2-minute drill, but they only put like a minute and a half. He said like on the clock. He virtually said the Dolphins got stopped. The Giants ended up scoring, kicking their 3 points. But after the Dolphins, I guess the Giants scored first, from what Tony told me. Then the Dolphins got the ball. The Giants stopped them, and then he said for all of a sudden they restarted the drill for the Dolphins. Now I don't know if that was home cooking. He said he don't know if there was like a penalty that was called or whatever. But he did say that's when Austin Jackson came back in the game. So I don't know if the Dolphins just wanted to see something or I don't know what it was, but according to what Tony told me, in that scenario, the Giants even won in that. The Giants scored, the Dolphins did not. So, hey,
Well,
man,
they restarted because the first two plays of that last thing that was supposed to end practice, Malik Willis just got straight sacked, and they were like, "Can we do it again?" Like, because they didn't get a feel for what it, you know what I mean? They were just so bad at it that first attempt. They wanted a second try at it.
Well, see, and this is the problem, because our beat reporters, Big C, they put it out as the Dolphins got a field goal, right? That's what they put it out as. But the problem is, you just said it, right? They restarted the drill. How many times can you restart drills or restart drives in real games?
Nope, sure can't.
Can you get a do-over? Can you say, hey, y'all just sacked my quarterback the first 2 times. Can I get a do-over? Like, that don't exist. So I don't understand, like, what's going on. Well, I do understand what's going on. And I think you kind of understand what's going on here, Big C. This 2026 Miami Dolphins season is about development. I want to see what Coach Hapley can do. I want to see what Sully could do, bringing it, again, because we know injuries are going to happen. You might have to put a player on IR. So a general manager's job is never done. I want to see development from the coaching staff and from some of these young players. But again, bro, this team is not winning a lot of games. It just is what it is. It's going to be a 2 to 3, maybe 4 win, if you're lucky, 5-win football team. And people got to understand that this is going to be one of the worst football teams in the league. Period. There's no depth on this team. The secondary is horrible, even from a starting position. The offensive line has not looked good. Outside of Devon A-Chain, and that's it offensively, really. I mean, what else do you have? Defensively, Zach Seiler hasn't performed, Big C. Jordan Brooks is now out. Terrell Dotson is now dealing with an injury. It's like, we don't have a lot of things on this team should be excited for 2026 is all I'm saying.
Yeah, the Caleb Douglas thing, to me, like, people want to continue to put him on this pedestal. And, you know, I don't know if you heard earlier in the show, everybody want to compare him to the next Randy Moss, or say Miller says he's T. Higgins. I said, you know what? He could very easily be Robbie Anderson. You know what I mean? And what makes you think that he's so much better than his draft stock, or where he was supposed to be drafted, because he made a couple catches in a practice, or he made 1 catch in a preseason game? People just assume that he's going to be this top weapon for the Dolphins, and I just can't see putting that much stock in it until he can prove it on the field. And to me, he just has not done enough to warrant the high expectations of him.
Big C, I don't want to hear T. Higgins. I think Randy Moss, I've heard Jamar Chase, I've heard Megatron. He's Devontae Parker is who he is. That's his ceiling, Big C, is Devontae Parker. He is a 50-50 guy. He is a jump ball guy, is what he is. He's not an elite route runner. The reason that Malik Willis got picked off yesterday is because when people say he's an elite route runner, go watch Jamar Chase, go watch Justin Jefferson, go watch some of those guys, and those are elite route runners. Go watch Jarvis Landry when he was here. That was an elite route runner. Caleb Douglas don't round off his routes. He doesn't plant his foot and make it seem like the corner undercut the route yesterday, Big C, is because he just rounds it off. It's not like a plant your foot and no, it's like, oh, I'm turning left, or let me just turn left. That's not an elite route runner. Malik Willis got picked off yesterday again because he rounded off the route. Caleb Douglas is terrible, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings, and I don't even want to shit on the kid, but he's terrible. He's not good.
Yeah, I heard that he definitely could have stopped that interception, but he just didn't make no effort to get back to the ball.
Again, the effort was piss poor, but I'm saying the reason that the corner was even able to undercut it is because he rounds out his route. Either way, he's just not a good football player. I know people want him to be. He's not. He's never going to be. He's Devontae Parker is who he is. That's his ceiling. And it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, again, you and me both are on the same page as far as this season's about growth and about, the small victories this team can accomplish this year, not the wins, losses on the field. Again, I like Jeff Hafley and the things he's done. He's going to make rookie mistakes as a coach. And if people are saying, oh, he wasn't showing his true hand in practice, or he wasn't trying to do this in practice, or not trying to do that in practice. If that's the case, then that's a rookie mistake right there. As far as Jeff is, I'm concerned, you want to try things that you want to try in games against other NFL teams, other real opponents. Why wouldn't you go out there and try plays that you want to work in during the regular season? Why wouldn't you try the schemes that you're trying to run in the regular season? Why would you go so vanilla, so basic in these scrimmages if that's not what you're going to do in the regular season?
But they're not. That's again, he comes out and says that they're not just running basic stuff. They're not. They're not just running basic stuff. Again, people will use that as an excuse. So if it works though, when you see these 60-yard touchdown runs and you see guards pulling and Will Kazmarek leading the charge, you think that's basic, or do you think that's stuff you're going to see in the game? It's stuff you see in the game.
That you're going to see in the game. Yeah.
It's only basic when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's what fans do. That's what people. These are excuses. Oh, we're just being basic. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I know. So I guess Caleb Douglas' his one-hand catch against the Commanders, was that basic, or was that a play you're probably going to see in the regular season?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The realist says if we get a Devontae Parker receiver that was supposed to be a 5th round, but we drafted him in the 3rd, congratulations, Mr. Sully. Well, I mean, or is it that Devontae Parker was a 1st-round pick that was supposed to be a 4th rounder? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Devontae Parker, I believe, wasn't he a 2nd-round pick, I believe?
He was first. Number.
Oh, okay. Well,
11,
there you go.
Number 11
well,
overall.
He's Devontae Parker. Either way. I see Idle Man in there, too, in the chat. Idle Man says, well, Caleb Douglas only played 1 series against the Commanders. I think you should go back and watch that game. He went out for the 2nd series with Quinn Ewers. He was on the field. Caleb Douglas was out there. He didn't just play 1 series. See, this is what I'm saying. When people just love players and they just want to defend them to the death, they'll come out here and they'll lie. Go back and watch the game. Caleb Douglas started the game with Malik Willis. He also went out there with Quinn Ewers. Caleb Douglas, number 7, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
sure
CD7. Go watch CD7 on the 2nd series with Quinn Ewers. But either way, Big C.
The realist says when we are 500. Hold on 1 second. When we are 500 and in the playoff hunt, all these fans should be banned from the stadium. I
So
don't.
I should be banned. Um, so I should be banned from the stadium when this team is 500 and they're making a playoff push. Cool. Who said that? It was the realist, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, maybe the realists should understand that maybe this organization shouldn't have been reaching or getting my money for the last 25 years because they haven't gave me a damn playoff win. But you know what this fan over here has been doing? Buying all the merch, buying all the stuff, talking about this team on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on a podcast that I do. Go out to games, travel to Carolina, travel to other places to go watch this team play. And for what? What have they given me? I hate when we have comments like this, Big C. Like, just because me and you might be a little bit more, I don't want to say negative on the team, but I would say more realistic about this team. You have fans like the realists come out and say, well, well, these guys shouldn't be allowed. Why? Why? Because I don't see that this team, in my opinion, is going to be good. But I supported them in
What happened?
2023 when I thought they were going to be. I'm still supporting them now. They're just not going to be good.
What should the fans get that think that we're going to the playoffs when we have 3 wins at the end of the season? What do those fans get?
Exactly. What should he be banned from the stadium too?
Do we get apologies for being right? Because they'll gaslight other YouTube channels and this is what this guy said, or no, this is what this guy said. Maybe some guys that are more positive. And again, I love TD, but he's on the positive end of the realm. Are we going to get our due diligence for being right when at the end of the season, things don't turn out like they said and they turn out like we said? No, we're just going to be forgotten. But that's cool. That's cool. All right, Lou, I appreciate you, man. Have a safe trip back home. I apologize you got that long drive ahead of you, brother. Make sure you go check out the Blitz pickup. They're close to 1,000 subs. Help them get there so they can get monetized and start making these minuscule dollars that YouTube gets us. But listen, I don't think Lou's a negative fan whatsoever. I think Lou just, Lou knows football, and Lou knows what it takes to build a football team. And, he's seeing the positives in the team, but he's not one that's going to allow for, people to boost the team when it's not due. It's not, there's no reason to believe that some of these players are as good as people want to try to make them out to be. It's not that certain people who are so for sure that this team is not going to. The realists, it's because of how the team's built. Like, I'll say it again. I'm not a Tua-neer whatsoever. Did I think this team could win when Tua was here? I did. I absolutely did. But it was more so because of the team the Miami Dolphins built around Tua that I felt like the team can win. Now I feel like we have a quarterback that can do a bunch of things and it can do them at a high level. We just don't have the team around him to do those things. We got some talent on this team, that's for sure. But we don't have the depth. We don't have, these young players don't have the experience. There's a learning curve, whether you want to believe it or not. There's a learning curve in the NFL. You don't just come to the NFL and normally perform at a high level. Yeah, there's certain guys that do. There's certain guys that do 100%. But most, there's a learning curve. They got to get used to it. They got to adjust. They got to practice it. They got to get better. When you take all the things that the Dolphins have against them, and there's a plethora of things, more so than what usual teams have to go up against. A new head coach, a new general manager, a new quarterback, a new offensive scheme, a new defensive scheme, a ton of rookie players, a ton of second-year players, a bunch of third-year players, and then you add in, for depth, a bunch of minimum contract players. That's not a recipe for success in year one of a rebuild. So again, I think that the Miami Dolphins win 5-6 games. I think they steal a couple. That gets them the 6 wins. I think this team on paper probably should win 2-3 games. When you look at the schedule, how it's currently laid out, I think 2-3 games is reasonable. I think that the Miami Dolphins, because I have faith in them and I think that they're going to steal a couple wins, I can see 6 wins for this football team. That's not a knock on the head coach. That's not a knock on Malik Willis. That's not a knock on Caleb Douglas. It's not a knock on the defense. It's not a knock on anybody. It's just the way things are. There's going to be a learning curve for our young players. There's going to be a learning curve learning the new offensive scheme. There's going to be a learning curve, new defensive scheme. There's going to be a learning curve for Jeff Hafley as a head coach. There's a lack of talent and depth on this football team because of the huge amount of dead cap this football team has. You mix all that up in a pot, that's a recipe for a very mediocre to below mediocre team. And you build, you continue to build. My handle is Tua. How is my handle Tua? Let me help. We have a 1-win team with a 5 to 8 win quarterback. That makes sense. Your handle is Tua. I think your Jordan Love sat on the bench 44 years. Guess what Malik got to go sit in the same place for 2 years and learn. And he was the better player on the team. If he was on the better player on the team, they would have traded Jordan Love. And they could have traded Jordan Love. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Hit that like button for me, please. It helps the channel grow. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Again, the Dolphins are moving in the right direction. It takes time, baby. It takes time. It takes time. This is not a one-night fix. It's not a one-year fix. We got to let Sully have an opportunity to build this football team. And, he's only had one draft and one free agency period where, basically our whole free agency was Malik Willis and money well spent, in my opinion. Give him another draft. Give Hafley an opportunity to work with these players, build these players up, give us a free agency where we can go out and make some moves, and then we can start really judging this team. I think next year is going to be a fantastic year for this Dolphins team, and I can't wait for it. It sucks that we're going to have to go through this year, but it's a natural part of building a football team the correct way. It's a natural way to build the team the correct way. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And fins up. For real. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. I promise you that. But fins up.
Yeah. Check it. From the 305 to the world. Big C on the mic. Welcome to the inner circle. You know what it is. Yeah. Clock hits noon, ready for the breakdown. Big C stepping up, holding down the town. The Fin Posse podcast, yeah, we talking shop. Fresh off the field, never gonna stop. For the fans, by the fans, that's the code. Every single snap, every yard on the road. We dissect the stats, every gain, every loss. Breaking down the tape, checking every cross. Fins up, hold it high to the sky. Hard hitting talk, no need for a lie. From the trenches to the end zone, we keep it true. The Fin Posse, yeah, we waiting for you.